Welcome to the Veterans Growing America podcast. I am Coach R.L. Simmons. I am here with my illustrious co-host, Donnell Johns, and we have another special guest for you today. We have Mr. Ken Moorman. He is the founder of Jirani Coffeehouse, and he is an Army veteran. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, thank you guys. I'm so glad to be on. Looking forward to just having a great conversation.
Man, this is a special conversation for me. Most of you guys don't know, but Ken is the catalyst to help Veterans Growing America catapult into where we are today. But we'll get into that later in the show. Ken, can you introduce yourself by letting people know your military experience and background?
Oh yeah, again, Ken Moorman. I'm a veteran of the Army. I served 4 years in the Army. Got in and out by 18 out of high school, and I had that entrepreneurial bug ever since. But it took several years of having a whole lot of crazy jobs for it to kick in. But now, like I said, I'm the founder of Jirani Coffeehouse, business consultant, author, and I'm sure we'll talk about that stuff.
I love it. Hey, let's cook a little bit. Let's talk about your military training experience. How did that influence your journey into entrepreneurship?
Oh wow, it's funny because I went in for the college money. I had to get out of my hood. I grew up right outside of North Philadelphia in the suburbs. But back then it was like whoever stayed just didn't seem to make it. You know, that was in my mind. There's many friends that's doing well there now. But I went into the military. It's funny. The funny story I have to tell is I wanted to be an accountant. So when I talked to my recruiter, I said, hey, I don't be a grunt. I'm a basketball player. I want to be out in the woods, sleeping outside without a tent and all of that stuff. I want to be in the office. He said, okay, cool. So I wound up and I got into the motor pool. Right. So before you know it, I'm 18 years old in Korea. And he didn't lie because we just had the big tent with the whole office outside in the woods with snow. And so it's been an experience. I spent a lot of times in the woods and I realized this isn't it. But to your point, man, that basic training and then just being able to live in different elements that I didn't grow up. I didn't grow up living outside like that. I knew I could do anything. I knew it gave me the mindset that I can override my mind at any time to do whatever I needed to do. And as an entrepreneur, we all know it gets hot and heavy sometimes. And sometimes you do have to go in override mode to get it done and to get a dream off. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
We have similar stories. I actually told my recruiter that I wanted an office. And I ended up getting the office, by the way. I was a human resource specialist, but that's funny. We have a similar story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you got lucky.
Yeah.
He told me, honestly, that was the first option, right? And he said, oh, you want to be, what did he say? I don't know if it was human resources or finance. I'm like, yeah, great. He said, you scared to jump out of airplanes? I'm like, yeah, I ain't jumping out of an airplane. You need to take supply. So he wanted me in the motor pool. Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. So can you share with me what inspired you to start your own business? Was there an influence back in the day, like your dad or somebody like that? Or how did that work out?
Yeah, no, you mentioned my dad. My dad passed in 2009. I was blessed. And I knew as a kid, I had an awesome father in the house. Awesome dad. Hard work. And he was older. So he was the show me, I'll show you type. He would walk miles to work. He would let my mom have the car. He'd do whatever. He's a provider. But, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the question.
What inspired you to start your own business?
Okay, yeah. But watching him work so hard, this is where I was going with it. Watching him work so hard, I'm like, man, I don't want to. And I still remember the day he got laid off and life changed for us. It got harder. And as a kid, I'm like, man, it got to be another way. And at that time, growing up, Philadelphia area, I've never seen a Black man that was a business owner. There were other business owners. Yeah, I didn't have any examples as far as entrepreneurs, but I did have one guy as a family friend, and he was a branch manager at a bank. And I saw that, and I think that's how I was like, maybe I'll be an accountant. And I think the entrepreneur spirit came after years of just having jobs I just didn't like. I did this one thing in the military, we're going to do our best, right?
Mhm.
So I did well, I achieved things, I worked hard, I was getting promoted, I got into retail management and opening and training and all this stuff. I'm like, it's not what I want to do. But then after a while, I started saying, I got a store and I'm making $18 million for this other company. I could do this myself. I'm like, one day I'll do it. And then years ago, I was a licensed real estate agent for 16 years. I stopped just when COVID hit. And years ago, this guy came in and said, hey, you'd be great at real estate. I'm like, really? I said, why are you into it? He said, I got into it because I always wanted to be able to put my kids on the bus and pick my kids up from the
Mm.
bus. When I heard that, that was the first time I ever heard that example. And I'm like, I had little babies at that time, right? I'm like, I want that. So my first stab at it was I got into real estate. And then it snowballed from there.
Now let's talk about Jirani Coffeehouse, right? Let's talk about the unique proposition. What made you select that type of business, and what is your unique proposition of that business?
I don't even know if I selected it. It selected me. So Jirani Coffee House, trying to see where I'm gonna start with that.
We got
Well,
time, brother. We got time.
yeah. March 24th, we've been open 9 years. So just
Amazing.
grateful for that. So I would say maybe 11 years ago, I'm in the federal government at this time. And yeah, 11, man, it was longer than that. 11 years ago, I was in the federal government and I get off the train. Normal day, got off the VRE, lived in Manassas Park at the time. And I heard a voice say, I need you to open up a coffee house right over there. Right
Mm.
over there was in Manassas Park where the city hall was, is the old city hall. And then
Mhm.
they had built the new condos there and they had the storefronts there. But at that time, they were already empty 7 years or so. I'm doing real estate too and working in the government, but I'm like, well, why would I do that? Well, in my mind, right? And I heard this voice. So I shook it off. I kept driving. And I heard a voice again. I need you to open up a coffee house right over there. So I pulled to the side of the road and I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I know I'm not crazy. I know I'm hearing this voice. And the voice it wasn't like God cracked open the sky. I need you to, nothing like that. But it was like an inside out voice. So when I do speaking and stuff, I always do this exercise. So I'm gonna do this exercise with you guys. So on the count of three, I want you to say your name and don't say it out loud. Right? Count of three, say your name. And those at home watching, count of three, I'm gonna say my name. Say your name, but don't say it out loud. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That was the voice that said, I need you to open up a coffee house. You can't deny that voice, no matter what no one told me. And it was so clear. The crazy part is at that time, I didn't drink coffee. I always tell people when you have visions and dreams and it's never going to come at the right time. It could be something totally outside of what you normally do. But when it hit, and I call these inspired businesses, Jirani Coffeehouse is an inspired business, meaning something that a business that you didn't create. It was just given to you. You just like, boom, I got this idea. But it's nothing like I wasn't a coffee enthusiast. I didn't know. I grew up, I never even been in a coffee house. I didn't grow up around them. They didn't have them where I grew up. They had diners. So I stopped. I looked over there. It doesn't make any sense. But I knew the one thing I did know is because of my past experience, I knew I could manage any retail big box. I could sell. I just need to learn what the product is. But because I used to have 25,000, 100,000 square foot buildings that I would literally build and do all of the operations and hiring, and I knew I could do it, right? I just need to learn about it. So I went home and told my family, told my wife at the time, I was just like, hey, God told me we need to open up a coffee house, right? Fellas, you know what she said, crazy. And she had just came home, left her big time job to raise the kids and homeschool. The timing was not right. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I know what I heard. So I just told her, I said, hey, just remember, I came home one day while we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. We're doing real estate, right? I came home and God told me to open this coffee house. But everything she said made sense because this wasn't logical. And so on the side, I started Googling everything about coffee houses. And then I realized the vast world of coffee. I couldn't believe it. And even in hindsight, coffee is the common denominator for all cultures. Like, we don't have to speak the same language, but we can sit down, enjoy a good cup of coffee together and have a good time, right? So it's very important. And then I got scared because it's like, what do I know about this? But I had to rely on my training, my experience, and really believe in myself and believe in what I knew God told me to do. 3 weeks later, said, you ever check on that coffee house thing? I was like, no, but hey, I jumped on it. Start making some calls. The rest is history.
No, that's an amazing story. I love it. The one thing I believe our listeners want to hear, and I want to hear it myself, is if you can go back and start all over again, what are maybe 2 points that you would tell someone that's starting a business today? What are 2 points that you would share with them that would be something that they should do before they start their business?
I would say two things. Check the finances. Really, and it don't matter where you are on the scale. You can be at zero, you can have tons, but you still need to know where you are. And I say that because once I started my journey, I started going to the local like SBA in Manassas, and the lady, she was awesome. And she was sitting down, and the first thing she said to me, I gave her the vision. She said, okay, tell me this, are you prepared to spend all of your 401k, all of your savings for this dream? And I now use the same thing. I sat back, I was like, I did a self-assessment right in front of her. She waited. And I said, yeah, I think I have to do this. I was sold at this point. And she said, okay, let's get started. And she started, right? Since then, I've spent all of my 401k. Keeping this. Now, how would I know there's going to be COVID? There's things, that you can't even imagine. There's deaths in the family. There's all kind of stuff that happens along your journey. Your dream don't care. Your dream is, what about me? I'm here. We got to get it, because dream is, especially if it's tied to your purpose, and other people's dreams are tied to your dreams. In hindsight, no matter how hard it's been for me, it's been so rewarding. But all of the businesses, bro, who knows? We're on this podcast, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes I think about that to keep me going. So one thing, really think about your finances and where you are. And then two, get mentors. Who do you know can help you with this vision or dream? Like, at least run that. Yeah, there is help. And it don't have to be local. It could be across the world. But there's people that will help you start your vision or dream. And it can be something as simple as a one call a month, or just to give you, most people like us, we don't have a lot of time, but if you're serious, we'll give you a little bit of our time, right? So really see where you're at. But it's hard for me to narrow down to two, because it's probably about 10 things. I'm really where you are in your belief. There's levels of belief. I tell people, really look up the word believe. Look up all the definitions of believe you can, and sit with that and understand and really know, like, what believe means for you. Do you believe in your dream to the point you're ready to go and figure it out? Even though you don't have all the answers, you don't have to know. You just have the vision, right? There's people for that, right? Yeah, I could go on and on about things, but those are the first two to pop up. Because a lot of times the first thing that keep people from doing their vision or dreams is, I don't have the money, or I'm already can barely pay my rent, my mortgage. How I'm going to start this business? I just got fired. But most of the success stories are coming off something kind of tragic, and I went through that too. I'm like, this is not the time. And I started reading, and I'm like, every else story seems like that's the journey for most. It's normally like, parents set me up, and then I've been coasting the whole time. I haven't heard many of those. You got to go through it. Oh, and to go back to the other question, value proposition, or I think you mentioned that, or what separates us, what is unique about Jirani. We use coffee in the arts to bring the community together. And we have a one-word mission statement, and it's love. So we don't define it, we show you. When I tell you that love separation, most people, I've been studying people for the last 9 years, right? I see a lot of people. And but most people don't hear I love you for months, let alone feel it. So if you create a space, I'm intentional about loving on you. And that's just from a simple human being standpoint. Don't matter who you are, I just want to love on you, be kind to you. Actually, if I say I'm a follow up, I'm actually going to follow up with you. You good? Or hey, you need to meet somebody? Hey, the person right here, meet this person. That's all forms of love because we don't have to do it, right? So that love component is so powerful. And I can give you guys story after story after story about how that has separated us from the rest. Yeah.
I love it. This is a Donnell. This is my favorite part. I'm gonna switch up the question. Tell us about your best day in business.
Oh man, how do I had a lot of best days. Best day in business. So I going back to the love. This sometimes you can have a business and it's booming, and a lot of times when it's booming, it requires a lot of money and it's hard to keep it going in the beginning. But we were having just a hard time just maintaining this success. And it seemed sad, but it was one of my best days because I knew I was doing what I was supposed to do. I had this young lady, she was in her 20s, and I would see her all the time in the shop, just sitting there, and I used to talk to her every now and then. And then one day she came to me, she was real quiet. She said, Mr. Ken. I'm like, yeah. She said, I need you to do me a favor. I'm like, what's up? She said, I need you to promise me that you'll never let this place close. I'm like, oh, I gave her of course, I'm trying to keep it going for the community. She was like, no, 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 no. I need you to never let it close because I've been coming in here every day because I was going to kill myself. But let's feel love. And I cried under that. I left her, but I went back and cried because I knew all the stuff I've been going through at that point. This was it.
Yeah, it was worth it.
It was worth it. And like I said, you go into coffee houses and people laughing and talking, and people like this, and just they need a space outside your own space to pull yourself together. And sometimes they're feeding off of other people's energy to let them know I want to be like that. One day I'm gonna get out of this funk. Or so anyway, that was by far. And when it gets hard, I go back to that. I drive. I got to keep going. But thank God she told me that. Yeah, that was probably like year 5, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Both of y'all needed that.
Yes, I
Yeah,
because it was really hard. Life was, as a young kid say, life was lifing.
yeah,
It's doing what it's doing. I'm like, and you get to a point in your vision, your dream, like, where you got, and Donnell, I know you're probably here now where everyone believes in it and you can't stop. You can't
yeah,
at this point,
yeah,
bro. All these other businesses, you realize, oh man, I don't feel the need, even though it ain't like this cash cow right now, but you just can't stop. Yeah. I'm to that point even now, 9 years in. It's just a whole new generation. Post-COVID, it's a whole new, we just move different as a people, myself as well. It's a different energy, but they need that space. Yeah.
that's
Right.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Ken, speaking of love,
Mm-hmm.
when I walked into Jirani Coffeehouse, I sat down with you.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't actually asking you to do the event there. I was asking for guidance and mentorship.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
And I had a piece of paper and it had Veterans Growing America, our mission and our vision. And I remember telling you about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I shared the story of what I saw, the vision of VGA, and you got this big smile on your face.
Mm-hmm.
And you were smiling ear to ear. You was like, you could do that here.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was November of 2019. No, this was September 2019. Yeah, this was September 2019 when I brought the idea up to you, and you said yes. And I couldn't see it being in the location. I'm like, this place is too small. And you said, nah, we can clear out everything in here and we can get 20 tables up in here.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to thank you for opening up the doors of Jirani Coffee House. I just want to know, I know the listeners want to know, why did you do it?
Oh man, one, when you were sitting down, you had that look like I need someone to throw me a bone. You had that look like I had. I know I'm not crazy. I
Right.
need to do this. But for me, even when our events now, still the same thing. There's so many things community wise that honestly I could throw myself. I could put it on and get the community in there, but that's not what we do there. I'll pray and be like, okay, yeah, I want to do a business event. I want to do another event for providing good information on health and wellness. I could pull all these people together, but that's not what I do. So I'm a firm believer in just staying in your lane. I ain't got to get all the money. I just got to stay in my lane. But there's other people who really have this vision and following to do that. So just before, and the reason I smiled because I had just said, okay, I need to get a business event because we had one of those con events. So we had just did the same thing. We cleared it out. And we did it for the arts. It's a small version of the big con and Comic Con, but it was Jirani Con. And I didn't put it on, but one of my brothers, he had that vision and he had the whole connects to everything. He's an amazing artist, my brother James. And hey, they came and knocked it out. And then after that, I said, I'm gonna do one for business. And you came right in the door. And that's why I smiled. This is crazy. Yes, let's do it. Let me show you how we're gonna do it. And I knew at that time my social media was popping.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna open the door because one, I'm a veteran. Like, and then the fact that you're sacrificing for other veterans and you just need a break. And a lot of times when you had your vision and dreams, depending on the type of business it is, sometimes people just need to see the concept and on the smaller version. Because we even talked about what you're doing now. We talked about, okay, we'll go from here. Then, yeah, you can get the big box and really help a lot of veterans. And you can do it all over the United States if you want to, which you've been doing. So, but, and I was like, make sure we get video.
Yep.
Because video, hey, we can have it in Jirani and I can use video, get with my camera and get video and make it look like it's inside of one of the big boxes. So that's why I was so excited. And then too, the military, like one of the one and onlys, I'm like, I knew you were an executor. So I know he's going to execute this. I don't have to. He had laid out. I just gave him the lessons learned. Hey, this will work. This one didn't. It's up to you. Oh, don't try to have too many speaking. It gets bottlenecked here. Just let them flow in. Let these people make money. And so.
I'm going to summarize what happened that day. So we had every delegate in Virginia come through. It wasn't every delegate in Virginia, but most of them came through.
Yeah.
We had the mayor come through. We had 17 vendors, and it was about 900 people that showed up that day. It was, I'm talking about before we even opened the doors, people were coming in. And in fact, we were supposed to close it at 4, and we ended up still going till 6 because there was so many people. And it was a day that they were supposed to have something. There was a train that got off, and everybody got off the train and came right across the street, right over into Jirani Coffeehouse. It was a blessing that day, the number of people that came through. It was amazing. We had a camera crew in there. I don't know if you remember this, but John Reed was just getting started.
Yeah. And my man that did the camera.
Yes.
Awesome.
Chris McPhee. Yep.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's all like that stuff, man, just brings me joy. I forgot about that. But
yeah.
So awesome.
A lot of businesses started that day and they're still going. In fact, Chris McPhee, his business is still going, Triple Nickel, and his camera crew. The lady that sold hats, she sells her hats now in AFES.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Monifa, who helped out that day, it inspired her to get started. She was like, I see all of these people starting their business. I'm going to start my business. And she's still in business to this day.
That's awesome, man.
The RV company that was in there, they're still in business to this day. And so all of these businesses, under the roof of Jirani Coffeehouse. The girl that sold ice cream now has her own store in Maryland, and she is doing great. In fact, this is her second store.
Mm.
So I just want to thank you. This is national television, even though it's going to be on YouTube. I just want to
Yeah.
thank you in front of everybody because this is going to be on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts,
Wow.
YouTube. So this is going through all of those. And I just want to let everybody know that this man right here opened up the doors to my dreams and then allowed other people's dreams to flourish. And we're not the first and we won't be the last. And then to top it all off, you were the first podcast that we were on for Veterans Growing America.
Really?
Yeah. So when we sat in Jirani Coffee House and filmed that, that was the first video that we ever talked
Oh,
about
yeah, yeah.
Veterans Growing America.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Back
Wow.
then it was Veterans Grove, Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, man. Oh, I love what you've done, you and your team. It's amazing. Veterans Grow America. You ever have something? This is for all the other ones too. Like out there, you got a vision or a dream. Sometimes you'll get something and no one else will have it, and you'll say to yourself, "I can't believe no one else."
Right.
Sometimes that happens, and if you run across something like that, you better go lock down the website,
Just run with it.
get it, and because it might take some time, right? But I forgot who it was. Someone who was famous, but does well in business. And he was like, if you ain't ready, if he said, if you ain't willing to not make money for the first 5 years in your business, you ain't ready.
Mm.
And I knew what he meant. That's not everyone's story, but just because sometimes people think you're over the business and you're just raking in the money. It's not. You got to be that committed to your dream, to your vision. And I see you, man. You remind me so much of myself when I see you, and I'm like, oh, he on that camera now. But the deal is that's your personality, so it ain't like you being someone who you're not. It's just you realize like you have to get a dream off. You got to use all your gifts to get it off, not just I'm good at writing and just no. But if you have other gifts of that, don't compartmentalize it. Put them all in. It's the wonder power, right?
Yeah.
You got to push it and get it going. So, yeah. I love talking about this stuff, guys.
Yeah, I am absolutely inspired just because I've met some of these people and to to learn what their humble beginnings look like. And I've been in business for what almost 3 years now, and meeting Don being in a year and a half. And I have my successes and I've had some plateaus as well, but just listening to the growth and maturation of the process and just hearing that starting story gives me a lot of hope. So I appreciate it, gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Keep going. Love it.
Hey, so before we close out, I want to, Ken, pass the mic to you if you have any closing and parting words for the listeners today.
Oh, wow. One, if you have a vision or a dream or that crazy idea, please explore it. Please. Always, and I always say, if your vision or your dream, if you can carry it by yourself, it's not big enough. So if you can carry it by yourself, go ahead and handle that task. But if it's something I need a team, I need somebody to help me with, but you can't sleep, you can't breathe, you can't, it's keeping you up at night. You have to find a way to get that off. I have had people just call me earlier on. I don't know you, but I need a mentor. And I was like, hey, I don't have a lot of time, but I talk to you once a month or whatever. And some of these people are like so dear to me to this day, right? And they're off going. But it only started with someone saying, hey, it started with them just having enough to just reach out to somebody and go for their dream. Because in this day and age, and especially unfortunately when the world is in turmoil, when there's a housing market boom and it crashes, or unfortunately some kind of travesty, this is the time. Don't wait till life gets back, quote unquote, balanced. There is no balance, but it seemed normal. The time is now. Right now, everything going on is the perfect time to start your business. Reach out to somebody. And we have so many avenues. You got social media, you can get in their DMs, you can send them an email, you can call them, you can text them, you can There's so many people. There's organizations that's all they do is help people, connect people with different people, right? So this is a different time, the information age. You have to do it. So I just want to encourage people. As far as me, man, I also, got to plug the book. Along this journey, I still wrote a book. It's called On the Other Side of My Dream. I wrote this in 2019 and then COVID happened. Went through all that stuff and I couldn't really promote it. So you guys are seeing me back out pushing this book. And I really wrote this book to encourage entrepreneurs to follow your dream. It's literally one of the number one questions I used to get is people walk, and I still get it. And they walk in the Jirani Coffeehouse, they say, how'd you do this? And I would tell the story of different things. And then God put it on my heart, hey, just put it in a book. But when I tell you, it's a whole nother thing for authors or whatever. And I'm not this big time writer. I just had a story that I was able to get a consultant, a writing coach to help me pull my thoughts together and get this book out. When I tell you this here little book, 100 and something pages, I didn't want to write anything that I didn't have time to read. As an entrepreneur, I'm busy. I can't read a thick book right now. It has to mean something, right? So it's something quick. Every page you should be able to get a nugget to encourage you to get on. But this here book has gotten me in more doors than the whole Jirani Coffeehouse. Write a book. I don't know what else to tell you. I know y'all been hearing that, but I'm saying it for that one person this is your third time hearing it. Write the book. This is the new business card. You don't have to be, anytime if you write about anything, you become an expert in it. No one questions you. I'm an expert in my story. Can no one take that from me? But it has got me on stages. I've been speaking. I can do conferences, but I can still now, I had a book, I have coffee, right? I have my business consulting stuff, but it was hard for me to do that because I would speak before and then they would assume I had a book. Hey, where's the book? And I'm like, oh, okay, it's coming. I know many of you are getting that too. You're out there doing everything. They're like, write your book, guys. Yeah. So I also do, where I'm at now, and we've been working on it. God willing, our second location will be Manassas Park this summer. So we're almost working on that second half of the build out, and you guys will know I'm going to reach out to you guys both. So I tell those close to me, if you haven't heard from me, it ain't open yet. But we are excited about having our second Jirani Coffeehouse coming. And then we're going to expand from there. But be encouraged, guys. Go for your dreams.
I love it. I love it. Hey, where can the listeners find you and where can they find the book?
Oh, yeah. The book, Amazon.com. And then you can find my website is kenmoorman.com. That's KenMoorman.com. From there, you can find everything else. Jirani Coffeehouse, my social media, all of it is Ken Moorman_official. And reach out.
I love it. I love it. Hey, Donnell, can you tell the listeners how can they better continue to support Veterans Growing America?
Hey, first and foremost, let's give it up for Ken. We appreciate you being on the podcast. It's been too long, but we got you here. And everybody get that book. Get that book. So there we go. Now, how could you be a part of Veterans Growing America? Number one, I want y'all to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Like, comment, and share. If you don't have no money, you have the ability to like, comment, and share. By liking, commenting, and sharing, you're helping out veteran entrepreneurs. If you're a veteran, military spouse, or dependent, and you want to be a part of an organization that's amazing, that will open up doors for you, and you'll have a community of entrepreneurs right by your side, join us. Go on our website, become a member of our organization at veteransgrowingamerica.com. In addition to that, if you're in the DMV, we have 2 locations, one in Woodbridge and the other one in Clarksburg, Maryland. Just Google Veterans Growing America and come out and support our veteran entrepreneurs. And then when you walk through those doors, all you got to do is shop, baby.
Shop, baby. Ken, we appreciate you, brother. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, guys. It's awesome.
Thank you, Ken.
We are over and out.